This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
So folks, auto repair shop owners that are listening, in the house, John Dixon, Garage Gurus. I'm sure you probably know that name. If you don't, go to garagegurus.tech, T-E-C-H, and take a look. Garage Gurus has risen from, they're pretty much built from a unique combination of technical training, product expertise, and on-site, online, and on-demand delivery. Garage Gurus makes comprehensive training available to more service technicians than any other aftermarket manufacturer. So I met John through the AMRA, Automotive Maintenance Repair Association. If you guys don't belong to that, go to amra.org, sign up. Less than the cost of a lunch. You can get associated with MAP, the Motorist Assurance Program. That's for another conversation altogether. But John's out of Northern Illinois, certified Master Tech, ASE, and an ASE L1, Advanced Engine Performance Specialist, bachelor's degree in business management, over 25 years in the automotive industry, and both as a tech and a trainer. So that's why I really value, John, having you on board today for the podcast. So
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, sure. So what's the weather like there in Northern Illinois? And what is it, February? Yeah.
It's unseasonably warm. It was
Same here.
fantastic.
I'm in Utah and everything's melting. I've had 3 weeks of snow in my yard. Just on the other side of the mountains, though, it's wonderland over there. So anyway.
They say it's coming back, but we're enjoying a little bit. So I was able to get outside yesterday and catch up on a little bit of my own auto repair. So
right, I think oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get blasted here pretty soon, but we'll see. So anyway, why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself and because you from tech to Garage Gurus as a trainer for Garage Gurus. How many trainers are there? Does Garage Gurus have?
So we have myself. I do still train some events, and then I have my staff is 11 trainers.
11. Okay.
Right. So some of the shop owners that are watching today's cast may be familiar with Garage Gurus. Maybe they've had a shop visit from one of our TPSs. They're also part of Garage Gurus. These are the gentlemen that drive the vans with our company's product logos all over the sides, and they visit shops, talk to techs, talk about new products, product issues, warranty items, all different things like that. And they do offer some technical, like 45 to 60 minute lunch and learns, but those are product driven. So today, the program that I represent, our technical training program, is 100% brand agnostic. In other words, your techs come to my class, and we're not pushing any one of the Tenneco or Drive brands.
Right, and then come to a class. So you've got vans that go right to the shop. Are you guys doing any online, like Zoom type training?
Sure. Yeah. So my training program, we have 4 brick and mortar training centers. We have one near Detroit, one near St. Louis, one near Atlanta, and one in South Florida. And then we have 3 mobile automotive training centers that travel the country. And we do hands-on classes or seminar type training there. And then we're also spread out all around, for different customers, doing, evening seminars, field clinics, whatever you like to call them, which is typically, how most technicians today get training. So all in between the virtual and the in-person, whether it was at our place, customer's place, our mobile center, all in last year, we did 816 events for over 15,000 technicians.
Wow. So what's the overall mission of Garage Gurus? Oh, when did it start? Garage Gurus started
in 2015, and I came on the team as a trainer shortly after it began. Right after the launch, they started looking for more remote trainers to kind of spread us out a little bit and get us, out to the masses with a little bit less travel. But my team's on the road quite a bit, nearly every week, leading these classes. And really the program exists, Paul, you mentioned the mission. The program exists as my company's way of helping address the skills gap that exists in our industry. And also, that we're all aware every time I talk to customers, in fact, the biggest roadblock to training is they just don't have enough people. And so I have all different customers, all different sorts of service providers in every segment of our industry. And the ones that really engage with the program and participate, we can develop learning plans and different things like that. But it's a tremendous retention tool for shops, not only making the techs that they have more productive, But, by being able to invest a little bit in their staff, they're able to keep these technicians longer.
Right. I think hiring and retaining technicians is probably one of the, I mean, if you ask any shop owner, what's a top priority, that's got to be it. And then of course, investing in the techs is a really,
Yep.
really probably one of the best ways to develop loyalty and build a good staff is doing that.
In days past, there's a really strong conduit between high school programs, tech school programs, junior college programs, and people that, grew up working a little bit more around vehicles and did learn some light repair, figured out maybe they had an aptitude for it, were able to pursue that. Vehicles are a little bit different now. People, of course, are a lot different now. So a lot of the service providers that I engage with have started to, look under different stones, if you will, to try to find technicians. So sometimes they're people from other industries. Maybe they don't have a lot of technical expertise. And so that's where a program like mine can be helpful, because we have things to engage with entry level techs all the way up to, master tech level, and it just be able to kind of like level up everybody.
Yeah, I think you just answered my next question. What type of trainings does Garage Gurus specialize in?
So one of our taglines, one of our mottos is, one campus everywhere. So, like I said, we spend a lot of time traveling all over North America with our mobile centers, and sometimes, many times without it. But we also do have a virtual platform where, we have a studio up in Southfield, Michigan. We have a camera crew. If you've never seen one of our virtuals before, I'd really invite everybody to check that out. The production value on these is quite high. Admittedly, when the pandemic hit and the whole world shut down, we had no virtual content. There were other providers out there doing it. We consumed as much of that as we could. And I think you'll find, that ours, we went about it a little bit differently. It's one of my staff live in a shop in front of a car. So they're doing some PowerPoint and they're introducing some concepts and things like that. And then there's some live on vehicle demo. So if they're working with a scope, for instance, there's cameras. If they're working under the hood, there's GoPros underneath there, and you can see the trainer's hands and what they're connecting to. And then we get live feed from the scopes. We're not filming the screen or anything like that, but it's very well done. We've got them across the whole spectrum, all of the, everything bumper to bumper on the car, from how to reduce comebacks on brake jobs to using lab scopes and pressure transducers, and then, one in like each category of all the new technologies. So people that can't get to an in-person training can engage with that. Additionally, we do have a e-learning platform that you can introduce yourself at the website that you mentioned, garagegurus.tech.
Okay, awesome. Just curious, do you have any idea how many techs Garage Guru has trained since 2015, since y'all got started? Any idea?
Since 2015. Like I said, last year we were about 15,000. Yeah, last year we were about 15,000. I believe it was around 12 the year before. And then through the pandemic, it was a little hard. And then I think we were, 7 or 8,000 for the first few years.
Okay. So you've worked with a lot of repair shop owners, right? Quite a few, right?
Oh, for sure. A big part of my job.
What would you say are the top techniques, practices, or strategies that you've seen successful auto repair shop owners utilize to find, hire, and retain really good techs?
Yeah, I think the finding is the part that maybe I have the least amount of background with. I hire trainers here, but the shop owners that I work with, they're trying to engage with whatever's in their area. Maybe there's a career tech school or, local tech campuses, but they're also taking on lots of people from outside of this industry to try to just hire and retain good people. And, what I've seen that's been successful is when they find somebody that's a good technician, a good employee, right? Somebody that shows up for work when they're supposed to, is attentive, works safely, different things like that. They'll have somebody on the job show them some basic tasks. And, a lot of people in this industry started out the same way, like myself, changing fluids, busting tires, doing things like that. And then, there's a lot of other jobs, whether it's front end repair or brake jobs or diagnosing a check engine light, where it's a little bit more process driven, and it's hard to get somebody to be able to work independently on that. And that's kind of where we come in, and where I work with either direct with a shop owner, or if it's a larger organization, right? Maybe it's a franchise group or a corporate group of installers or something like that. And what a lot of my job entails is sitting down with these, different individuals and coming up with a learning plan. And sometimes it's, John, my group of technicians really has very little background in, I don't know, pick something hybrid, right? So then we can run a class on hybrid. But sometimes it's a very robust learning plan. I've worked with organizations where we've had a multi-year, multi-level, where technicians will attend for a period of time. We set up a cadence. We get a group of technicians every month, every other month. And then at the end of the year, they move up to the next level of classes. So it really just depends on, the investment in time and money that a group can make, and, where do they want to take their techs. Mm-hmm. Some groups I work with just are really comfortable with the group of technicians they have. They've got a long tenured team. They figured out that magic formula to retain good people that know how to work on cars and do it the right way. And, they just commit to giving them, it seems like the magic number seems to be about 20 hours of update training a year. We love to participate with organizations such as that as well.
Yeah, my team, everybody has to put in 1 hour per week. I pay for it. So I get about 44 hours of training. I got 26 positions. And I'm in my company. Every single person has to take 1 hour of training per week that we pay for. And then if they want to get in my good graces, they'll do extra on their own time. And then nice. I monitor that. Yeah. So that's been a really big one. So can you share what trends or developments do you see that are shaping the industry?
As far as from a technology standpoint?
Yeah,
or
the big one. Yeah, of course. That's a real big one.
Yeah, I think, the latest things seem to be the things that I get probably the most call for training. A couple of years ago, it was ADAS, and we were pretty prepared for that. I mean, we've been teaching braking and suspension and things like that for a long time, and a lot of electronics. So we were able to pull some things together on that. But, lately it's EV. And, for the last couple of years, I've had, many, many customers ask for training for their people on EV. Some of them want to take a deep dive and be ones that are, replacing batteries and servicing the newer style powertrains that these vehicles have. And some of them just know that, EVs still need brakes and chassis and tires and things like that. And they know they've heard this, they've heard that, is it safe to do this? Is it safe to do that? Do I need anything special? And they want to know what their people need to know. So we have a great class now just called simply Introduction to Electric Vehicles. It's a 3-hour evening seminar type of class. And it covers all of the safety items, the PPE, some of the other special tools if you want to dig a little deeper. And then it does start to talk about, motor diagnosis and some of the other things to be aware of on these cars. But we have more EV training and development right now. The next one that will launch later this year is called EV maintenance. So there's a huge misconception. I know most of the people that are listening to this cast know that this isn't true, but there's a misconception out there in the car driving public that, EVs are virtually maintenance free.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not the only ones laughing about that one, because there's plenty of things. I mean, one of the things that, I was looking at a case that my guys put together recently, and it was about the Chevy Bolt, and it's got a couple of different coolants on it. It's got 3 different, circuits, if you will, of coolant, and they all need to be serviced at certain intervals. And it pays very, very well. But, and it's an awareness thing. And, and if you don't service the coolant that's for the battery, that could be detrimental and lead to, very expensive problems down the road. So we're putting together a class to really highlight, these are the services. You don't have to necessarily dig in and be, changing out motors and, even batteries. There's plenty of these things that these cars offer. And, I would say that the relationship between the demand for the training and the information is way out of whack with the actual number of vehicles in operation that are actual EVs. But people want to know, and it's an untapped market. It's one of those things, if you learn it now, when they're a bigger part of the carpool, you got it, and you don't have to, I'm thinking that shop owners in here, one of the least favorite things they want to do is send a car to a dealer. So there's a handful of things that we try to do in training, whether it be how to service EVs, how to work safely around EVs. There are certain safety items. There is a potential to be hurt, but it's very easy to do it right. And I think, taking the fear out of it, whether you're a shop owner or a technician, is a great big deal.
One last thing, one quick thing
Yep.
though. I wanted to say to the shop owners out there, this is a common thread that I'm seeing with the shops that retain good techs. A family that eats together stays together. So I've heard this from several different auto repair shop. It's Auto Body in California that I did a podcast with. Over 7 million in volume. They started with virtually nothing. Every single week they have either a barbecue. They'll either call in a catering, a barbecue place, or they'll just do burgers and dogs, on a grill, and they shut down the shop for an hour and everybody sits and eats together. So this, along with training and a lot of other techniques, are one of the things that I see that shops do on a consistent basis to keep that camaraderie and going within the shop. It's a really good idea. If you go and buy burgers and dogs at Costco or Sam's, it's not expensive. Fire up the grills once a week. It's a great way to build a little more team camaraderie. Anyway, I just thought I'd toss that in. So
yeah, we see that frequently. A lot of times when we roll our mobile training center out, to a location for a shop owner or a group of shops, that thing comes out, it's big, it's cool looking. It's a giant billboard. Now, it doesn't say your shop name on it, but it looks like there's something exciting going on at their shop. And it really is. And it's, and these technicians have an opportunity to, get out of work for a period of time. And it can be, it could be 4 hours, it could be 8 hours, it could be multiple days. We have all different size training solutions for people. But when that unit comes to town and, you've got an opportunity to get them in there, get them out of work, like I said, and then, learn some new skills. My guys will, take them outside. There's a hands-on area underneath a canopy where we get 2 cars in and hook the scopes and scanners up to monitors so everybody can see what's going on. It is a good team building experience for sure.
yeah. So there's a lot of different organizations that do training. I just did
Yes.
a podcast with Tom Ham, Automotive Maintenance Network, and he's focused on the management side of the shop. So he's got, incredibly cheap to sign up, and he's got all kinds of standard operating procedures from shop owners from the last 20 years, on his website. So how do you approach a competition in your industry? You see it as a threat or as an opportunity?
It's an opportunity.
Okay.
I know many of the trainers in the space because, some of them are people that I grew up in this field going to watch. It's friendly competition because, we share notes. I've had people from other training providers out to my centers, seen my operation where we shoot the videos and things like that. And it's a good thing. We're all after the same thing, which is, to really raise the skill level in the industry. And hopefully by doing that, Paul, really raise the integrity and just the reputation, auto techs in some cases, the reputation with the public is not where we'd all want it to be. Right. So we realize that if we all keep doing that, my company can't train them all. We train a lot of people. I think what we work to do is to just offer something unique and different. I know I brought it up a couple times, but the mobile automotive training center is a unique experience. We're bringing hands-on capability to the shop. We're not the only ones that do hands-on training. We're not the only ones that have training centers, but I feel my team, is fantastic. All of the guys on my team have been technicians. So we do offer some unique opportunities, but as far as directly competing with anybody, it's like, we know that there's other people in this space, but like I said, it's friendly. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing most of my industry peers this week out at Vision in Kansas City.
Oh.
So if anybody that gets to see this is going to that event, would love to see you. A bunch of us will also be out at STX put on by WorldPack in Nashville near the end of April. So we love going out to those events. STX, Service and Training Expo. It's an event that WorldPack puts on every 2 years. So it's another great training event. A lot of the who's who and automotive trainers are there running classes. I think STX, their goal was around 400 different classes this year. I'm not sure. I think they hit the number. I'm not really sure. We'll be training at both Vision and STX. So if you're not familiar with Gurus or you want to learn more or you want to figure out how we could do it, I'll be in a booth at the trade show at both of those events. If anybody wants to stop by, say hi, chat.
Well, thanks for introducing me to STX. I'll see you this Friday at Vision. I'm in booth 310.
Okay. I'm not sure my booth number, but we'll definitely be there.
I'll look at the map.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I should have thought, yeah, you're going to be at Vision. Yeah, Jim's going to be at Vision. I mean, Anthony Allen, Bolt On, he's going to be there. So a lot of people
Great.
I've recently spoken with and done podcasts with are all going to be at Vision. So Sherry Hamilton's done an incredible job with Vision since she took it over. She's
Yeah, it's really an incredible event. We look forward to going there and training every year. And also, I'm bringing half of my team to Vision, half of my team to STX, so they can consume some. We're training both events, but my team also needs to consume training, just to
right.
stay current, gain new ideas. And it's a fantastic networking opportunity. I mean, like I said, I like to see my industry peers, but there's a huge amount of shop owners at events like that all the time. So it's good exposure for my program, but it's also, sometimes you'll get shop owners that, have been thinking about engaging. And, I think the great part about going to events like that now versus maybe when I started with the program is that, our program's grown a lot over the last almost 9 years. And we have different solutions today for people than we used to. When the program started, we had 12 brick and mortar facilities. And then if you wanted hands-on, you had to get to one. And now we have better solutions to, bring the mobile unit out and, engage with customers at their site if it's conducive to that. So really always some great conversations after those events.
Yeah, I tend to notice that a lot of your more successful shop owners, you see them at Vision. You'll see them at
Yes.
STX. You'll see them at ASTA. I'll be at the ASTA Expo in September over in North Carolina. So there's a lot of shop owners listening that don't go to Vision or they don't go to trade shows. And if you want to stay on the cutting edge, you want to meet the who's who of the automotive industry, going to Vision.
Sure.
It's not on your calendar, guys. Ladies that own auto shops out there, please go to Vision, check Vision out, and sign up and go. If you go one time,
There's also plenty of other, if they can't get to Kansas City, depending on where they're at in the country, there's almost always an auto care association that they can engage with. And most of them will do training expos as well. And
sure.
Some of them are virtual, some of them are in person. And, we do engage with some of the smaller ACA events as well. So,
Do you really?
Nice
Okay.
Yeah, another
Okay.
nice opportunity to engage.
Yeah, I talked to the guy that run the Florida one, so I'll have to talk with him again. But hey, folks, anybody listening, it's autocarealliance.org. Go to autocarealliance.org, and all of the chapters for the different areas are there.
There you go.
The ACA, it's all stuff that that Sherry started some time ago. So Milwaukee, of course, Midwest Auto, that's the main one. But if you want to go check that out, visionkc.com is the website for that, and then MW. Midwest Auto Care Alliance, ACA.org, MWACA. If you want to go and check that out, go to that website and get involved. I want to talk about trust real quick. John, one of the things that as a digital marketing company, we are amazed at the amount of businesses that don't have the trust badges right up front on their website to instill trust in the consumer. So we hired an industrial psychologist to find out, hey, how can we climb down subconsciously in the mind of the consumer and build trust with second website loans? Well, we got our answers. Modern current website subconsciously says modern current company. The great Google reviews, Trust Critic, Yelp, Facebook, any of those reviews, I'm amazed at the amount of shops that don't have those reviews very predominantly front and center the second the website loads. So if you go to autorepairSEO.com, you'll see how we do it. Our Google reviews are there, then our Google Trust badges, Google, certified partner, et cetera. And then all the associations that we belong to are underneath that. And we belong to quite a few of them in the automotive world. So when someone takes a Garage Gurus training, is there a Garage Gurus trust badge that they can put on their website?
Not today, Paul, but that is a fantastic idea. Yeah, I think
a Garage Gurus trained shop. And so every single time one of my clients, takes training from your organization, we want to put that trust badge. The consumer doesn't know. You got to remember, human beings are subconscious. We think we're these logical, rational creatures. No, 90% of everything that we do is subconscious. So even though we see Garage Gurus and all these other MAP, AMRA, all that, those badges on an auto repair shop's website, we don't know what they are, but subconsciously it conveys trust.
Right.
So every single Garage Gurus trained shop, tell them, say, hey, we talked with a digital marketing company. We got a special badge for you. Have your marketing company, website company, put this on the homepage of your website, Garage Gurus Trained. And so this way it gets your company's logo out more, okay? And with the links coming back to your website, which is going to help your SEO, it's going to help their SEO because they have a link going out to a reputable source, and it's going to help build trust. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
Right. Yeah. And that's a fantastic idea, Paul. I will definitely get with our marketing people on that. One of the things that we've done to help shops build trust, we do it continually, is to help provide a pathway for their technicians to become ASE certified. So, ASE has been around since I believe it's 72. And, some of the car driving population, probably not enough, but are aware that if a technician is ASE certified, it means they have knowledge and they've passed a test that proves that knowledge in an area. And, a lot of our customers are very proud to be able to fly the ASE banner because they have, one or more technicians certified. So we do offer ASE reviews for all of the auto series and also service writer parts, things like that. And some of them are just test reviews. So you've got a technician that's got the knowledge in a given area and they just want to prepare to take the test. We can do that. Those are 4-hour workshops. But then we also do have more comprehensive skills classes, where we look at the ASE task list and we lead technicians through an experience where they could get a lot of that information, but also do a lot of those tests. So now they've got the background that it requires to go out and take a test to become certified.
Okay, awesome. Well, there's a lot of shop owners just getting started. Maybe they're in those first 3 to 5 years. They're trying to get from the $1 million to $2 million to $2 million to $4 million. What advice would you give to inspiring shop owners that are just really getting started with their own business, or they've had a business for a while and then they just decided one day, I'm going to do something different. I want to grow. I want to do, because some shop owners, they just wake up one day and say, you know what, I don't want to keep doing the same old. I want to grow this by 20%. They start setting goals and they get with a company like us that show them how to work backwards, and so they can figure out how many more leads they'll need so they can accomplish that goal, and what those leads will possibly, what their investment would need to be in order to get where they want to go. But what advice would you, because you've been around the block, technician, trainer, you've been around shop owners pretty much, most of your life. So what advice would you give to the shop owner?
I think really, it's about finding ways to engage your people and build a culture of where you're building your people, right? So you're investing in them. Training is a fantastic way to invest somebody in them. You're saying that, your time in my shop is valuable. That's how we make money, right? But we're going to take you out of the shop. We're going to provide these opportunities for you to go do these things and come back better. There's an old saying, it's kind of cliche, but like when somebody's pushing back on doing training, it's like, well, you know what, John, what if I invest all this money training my technicians and they leave? So, well, what if you don't train them and they stay? It's, what do you want? What are you after? Right. And so there's a palatable difference in walking into a shop or spending time with certain organizations where training and investing in people is important and where it's less important. Just the overall demeanor and posture of the technicians as they're working on a car. I mean, you can see it. It's definitely, you can say it's in the air, it's in the water, whatever it is. But, when you have a group of leaders in an organization, and I work with some fantastic top-notch organizations. I mean, can I mention one of my favorites?
Yeah, please.
So one of my favorites is VIP Tire. They're up in New England. They do a fantastic job from, Tim, their president, all the way down. And they bring their technicians, they bring their master techs every year. I was just at the conference last month up in Maine, and they bring them together and they talk to them. They get the ideas from these technicians. What do they want? What kind of training do they want? And they engage with us and they engage with other training providers as well. But they bring us in and we talk to the technicians. Hey, here's what's new. Then there's a survey that goes out. What do you want to see when Garage Gurus comes through for their 6 weeks of training that they do with us every year? And, just by getting these people together and tapping their brains and, providing them with, in this case, this year was our turn to deliver some training. We took them through some EV. And then we went to one of their shops, and one of my trainers, led them through some things. And it was a great event. And this was just for all of their master techs. And they incentivized these guys to gain more ASE certifications. They have several technicians in their organization that are world-class certified. So they've got master certifications in multiple areas. And just, I think by doing that, and they invest in these people, and there's multiple events that they do every year for their people. And, you spend time in one of their stores, and it is different, and it's a fantastic experience for the customer. And, these are people that are getting trained all the time on the latest tools, techniques, technologies. It's a good place to be, and then I don't want anybody listening to think, oh, I can't bring everybody together for this huge event, or, hey, I've only got 6 technicians, or, whatever the case may be. There's always something that you could do to invest, right? And to engage people. I mean, you have a training, it's an event, like you said, you go to Costco and get hamburgers and hot dogs and, grill out and have a good time. And, we've even had shop owners, they can't do the in-person for one reason or another. They book a webinar, put it on at the shop, get a TV, get some food, get the guys together, and, get all their technicians in one spot, and they take in a webinar together, and it provides, some areas of discussion for them.
Well, that's a good idea to have techs listen to a webinar together or a training together so they can discuss. I'm going to listen to every single tip I can possibly get from every auto repair shop owner or people in the industry that I can. And I'm going to put together a comprehensive list of every possible thing that I've ever heard that can help a repair shop owner, hire and retain good techs, Hey, just a real quick, I'm going to put a quick plug in here for Jeff Cox. Everybody listening, John and I met at a MAP conference, Motorist Assurance Program. And John, explain what the Motorist Assurance Program is real quick. So in case the owner out there doesn't know what it is.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. I hope when Jeff listens to this, I get it right. But
well, just to the best, it's a place where
right. And so it's a place where a consumer can go to find shops that participate in this program. And they have the UICS, which is Uniform Inspection and Communication Standards. So it really just sets standards, for our business. It's a powerful tool because, as a technician, it helps with the language when we communicate to a customer. Like, I can't say, Paul, your brakes are bad. That doesn't mean anything, right? What does that mean? They're ill-tempered? Like, it doesn't mean anything,
Right.
But we have standards that say if the linings are of this thickness, we should recommend replacement. If they're this thickness, they're not, providing other conditions of the brake system are just fine. So it's a place to communicate the right thing, but also, keep everybody on the same page and build trust in the industry. In fact, that's their tagline: trust comes standard. That's MAP's thing. So.
Yep. So any shop owner out there, if you've ever dealt with that, somebody comes in to get some work done, but then your tech notices, hey, this and this needs to be done too. And then you go to the customer and say, hey, this is really, worn out, needs to be replaced, or this fluid is like,
Right.
15,000 miles ago. They take it with a grain of salt. Oh, you're just trying to upsell me. So MAP provides a third party for all shop owners to say, hey, it's not us saying this. The Motorist Assurance Program, we're a Motorist Assurance Program approved shop. And guys, go to motorist.org. You're crazy for not joining. It's like $30 a month. And you've got a database of resources for like just everything in there. Get in there and take a look at Motorist Assurance Program, motorist.org, and take a look at that.
The program itself with the standards and everything is absolutely fantastic. And it goes back to what I said earlier about, building trust and raising the reputation of this industry to the public. But additionally, the resources that are on that site that are available to members, the member get-togethers are fantastic networking opportunities. You have people like myself from parts companies. You've got service providers. You have other people that provide shop management systems and information systems. And, there's all sorts of great industry professionals there. So it's a good opportunity to engage and network and really further your business.
Sure. That's how you and I met. And, I can't extend enough how much more money a shop will make as long as you have the Motorist Assurance Program telling the consumer that, hey, that brake fluid was supposed to have been replaced 15,000 miles ago. It just sits right here in the the manufacturers. So this third party is recommending this gear replace. That will up sales immediately right away. So anyway, how can a shop owner reach out and get in touch with you guys?
So if they're going to any of the events that we're at, please stop by the booth. I mentioned Vision and STX, but the easiest way, garagegurus.tech, and you can reach out that way, or send me an email, john.dixon@drive.com, DRIV, no E.com.
Okay. And how does somebody get one of those mobile vehicles to their shop?
Yeah, I run all the schedule for that as well. So if somebody wants to reach out, we could set up some time to chat, show you the rest of the ins and outs of the program, what we offer, when the unit's available, and what the space requirements are. It's a rather large toy, so it needs its own space. But yeah, if somebody wants to reach out to me directly, john.dixon@drive.com. If you want to hear more about the program, we could put together some time to talk.
All right. So thanks for your time today, John. We really appreciate it. Are there any questions that I should have asked that you can think of that I didn't cover, or that I kind of covered?
No, I think we got to it all. Additionally, another way to kind of engage with our program, get to know us a little bit better. We're on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, type in Garage Gurus, look for that logo. We've got well over 100 tech tips. Some of them are just a couple minutes long. Some of them are up to maybe 10 or 12 minutes long. But they're just on, they're on everyday things that technicians come across. Some of it's on some deeper diagnosis, and some of it's on basic checks. So look us up there. We're on all the social media platforms as well. Social media is a great way to engage with us. It talks about, where we're having class, the events that we're doing, tells a little bit about our people.
All right. Awesome.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.